I don't want to go outside. And then hulk yourself out. So you know when a lot of you trainiacs say that it's neat that I live up in Winnipeg and I get to experience snow and winter and white Christmases? Today is not one of those days. I got out on the bike and it was literally frozen. I could not unlock my bike in my garage because the lock was frozen, for starters. Then I hopped on the bike, made a little adjustment to the chain, that broke it, and the rear wheel didn't spin. So I'm like, okay, it's like I'm driving today. You gotta see this. When I talk about frozen tundra, this is it. And we got the good end of the winter storm that happened last night. It's about minus 15 Celsius, but there's about 30 kilometer, 20 mile an hour winds. This is intense out here. Check this out. So I'm driving today. Fun story though, in the pool, I'm gonna try out my new swimskin. I'm there right now, and I gotta go in. I don't wanna go outside. It's deathly out there.
Taren, are you excited?
For what? I'm excited for this.
For what?
Huh? It's a real treat to get into.
The rest of today's practice, we'll be watching Taren get dressed.
Let's put after that one, right? Yeah. First impressions of the Huub, pretty good. Remember what I said about there being no structure? I was wrong. There's stiffer lines along the side and down the back. I think 3 go like this, and it eliminates a lot of the fishtailing that could happen, so that was good. I sat a little bit higher in the water, that made me faster. Pat said that I popped out of the water after that dive faster. And I forgot to say this when I was looking around for the string for the zipper, I don't need one. The Huub, you just flip the zipper up and then hulk yourself out. Check this out. Zipper down, zipper up. Easy as that. As long as nobody flips up my zipper in the swim, we're good. Everyone's probably gonna ask, what was the rest period on that set with the 50s and the dives? There's no rest. Hop out, walk over to the other side of the lane, dive in. That was fun after no workout because I was late. Anyone ever notice that the first few days of the taper process, everything starts falling apart and it feels like you're gonna be injured any minute now? Ooh, the joys of triathlon. Gotta make a special note of working all this stuff out over the next couple weeks because I'm not getting any faster in between now and the race. So it's just a matter of staying active and making my body, say healthy, but also making sure that it doesn't fall apart. So I hop up on deck in my Speedo and contort myself into awkward positions, making everyone else around me uncomfortable. You're welcome, Winnipeg. And Mel, who gets to edit this. Do you all remember a couple weeks ago when I did a 25K run, even though we're only doing 21.1K in a half Ironman? You guys remember that? I get a lot of comments about, man, you do such massive distances. And I alluded to the fact maybe about a week ago that just to finish a race, you don't have to do big distances like that. Like you don't have to be doing 100+ K rides if you're doing a half Ironman or an Olympic or a sprint. And I think that when I constantly do those big numbers, that it might be a little bit off-putting to people who are just getting into the sport, and it's intimidating because you think that you might have to be doing those types of distances and that type of volume and training 10, 15 times a week for 20 hours plus. You don't have to. So addressing that, like I mentioned a couple weeks ago, if you just want to finish a race, you don't have to train nearly that much. It's quite a bit less. 3-4 times a week you can probably get away with. But if you're looking to have your absolute best race, I think that you need to train with what I call over distances. Other people might also call them over distances, and I just think that it's something that I came up with. I don't actually know if that's right or if it's not. Over distances are something that I've found extremely helpful as I've increased the distance that I've been competing in. So back when I was doing sprints, I could get away with training 3, 4, 5, 6 times a week, and I'd still have a pretty good race. But when you start getting into longer distances, your body needs to be a lot stronger. If you start getting into longer distances and you want to have your absolute best race possible, like you want to be putting in personal records, personal best, PR, PBs, it's important to have over distances so that when you get to that long distance race, it's not a struggle just to complete the distance. You want to get to a point that you have biked so much, ran so much, swam so much, the distances in each leg of the race are completely attainable. And then it's just a matter of, can you hold a fast race pace for that length of time? What we look at in our training group is a half Ironman distance for me is 1900 meters. We're doing like 3,000, 4,500 meter swims in bikes over the winter. I haven't put in huge distances on the bike, but last winter when I was training for a half Ironman, we were doing like 130, 140 or 50K rides, so that the 90K ride in a half Ironman was not a big deal. Runs, last year, I didn't really do any runs longer than about 20K, and I really felt that when I got out onto the race course. So this year, training for Campeche, we started including 18K runs basically as a standard. That was like the shortest long run that we did. And then we started building up to 21, 22, 23, and 25K runs over the last couple months. And by the time we got to that 25K run, a 21K run at a fast pace, easy peasy lemon squeezy. So if you're looking to have your absolute best race that you possibly can, you gotta put in a lot of miles. And it's gotta get to the point that you can hold a race pace for the distance of the leg of that race because you've trained for huge volumes in longer distances. And then you can put out faster times because a half Ironman is a shorter distance. Now, I'm gonna give this a big word of caution. The longer you go in racing, like you're getting to a full Ironman, you probably don't wanna be doing like 250K rides. It takes a big toll on the body. And past 6, 7, 8 hour training days, you're not getting a whole lot of benefit from that. I would say that over distances that are training days longer than the distance that you're actually going to race in probably only makes sense for sprints, Olympics, half Ironmans. By the time you get to a full Ironman, your 7 to 9 hour training days are going to end up being probably enough. Why I know that for a fact, even though that I haven't done a full Ironman, is because when we trained for the lake swim that we knew was gonna take about 9 hours, we only got up to about a 5 or 6 hour training swim in open water. And the reason for that is the idea is just to get your body used to the fact that it's gonna be going for a really long period of time and figure out your nutrition. And if you get that pacing down, that's just chug-a-chug, 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 then it's a matter of just fueling yourself and constantly going at that chug-a-chug, chug-a-chug. So you don't need to be necessarily doing over distances for full Ironmans and Ultraman events or like marathon swims or ultra runs. Yeah, you're not gonna run 120 miles for a 100-mile run. But certainly for sprints, Olympics, and half Ironmans, over distances are a big benefit. Makes you strong up here too, to know that you can go that distance without issue. That is all for today. It's nice that I got home early. We called in a snow day and everyone went home early. Back at it tomorrow. Have a good night. See you, Trainiacs. Do you want to say goodbye to the Trainiacs? Pete, do you want to show them your bone? There he is. There, you showed them your bone. Good work.